went off on a little walk this afternoon, and he decided that he would take off and chase a critter. So I hope everything's going good now and that you can hear me, and I hope you have sound now, because I do show that my microphone is working. So let me know if you can hear me. There'll be a little bit of a delay, and I had it turned off to mute. Hi Belinda, hi Christina, can you guys hear me now? Okay, good. Well, let me start over again and say welcome to my very first Facebook Live, and of course I messed it up and didn't turn the microphone on. Of course, maybe as we get into this, you'll be just as glad if the microphone wasn't on. But I'm really, really happy to see all of you here this evening. Oh, hi, Jana, and hi, Chitra, Kathy, hello from Watertown, New York. And Jana just said, hi, Mommy. So, hi, honey, back to you. And I hope that those of you who are in the central part of the United States have got an ear to the sky tonight, because there's some bad weather floating around. And so I just keep your eye to the sky and stay safe. I've got a lot of fun things planned coming up in the next months. Tomorrow night we're going to be doing a glass bottle, and it doesn't matter what kind of bottle you have. These came from the Dollar Tree, and so hi Laura, hi Cheryl. And yes, my baby, yes, Christina, my baby is close. He's back here by me. But tomorrow evening we're going to be mudding on bottles. And it doesn't matter what kind of bottle you have. We're going to do roses on it. So I hope that you can join me for that if you haven't already signed up. We also have another class that's going to be coming up next week on April the 21st, and I know you won't want to miss this one, because this is one that's going to teach you how to do lines, especially with mudding, and it is one called Petals and Pearls. And if you are not familiar with mud and you need to order mud, you can always go and get your mud supplies, of course, from the grandmother herself, margotclark.com. Or if you need to order more, you can go there. So this is coming up next week. And of course, if, as you know, whenever you want to register for a class, all you have to do is go to my website to register for the class, and then after you register, I will send the e-packet to you following the registration. So I hope that you can all join me for that, and we always have a lot of giggles and a lot of fun. So plan on joining me for that. Thank you so much for all of your comments about those projects. And I don't know how many people will be on tonight, but I think it's been about 6 minutes. And of course, the first minute or two, I didn't have sound. So, but now that everybody's on, oh, hi, Kim, and is coming on, I think we'll go ahead and start talking a little bit about, hi Cindy, about our project that we're going to do tonight. And that, of course, is a wooden egg. And eggs come in all sizes at this time of year. Some are wood, some are china, some are paper mache. Hi, Georgina. And hi, I said hi, Cindy. Hi, Barb. Greetings from Nebraska. Heads up there tonight. But this particular egg came from Pinecraft. And this is what it looks like when we're actually going to do this. And if you don't have a place to get eggs, you can usually find them at Hobby Lobby or any of those places. Let's see, I thought I had Pinecraft's website up here, but it's pinecraftsinc.com. And so this is what we're going to be doing tonight. So let's come back here for a minute and I'll get some things in line here. And then before we start, if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the comments section. And as I'm demonstrating some of this, I'll try to keep an eye on the comments so that I can answer any questions that you have. So before we start though, you gals know, oh hi Barb Fortier up in Canada, and Georgina's up in Canada too. Hi there, thank you for coming in on this first Facebook Live that I'm doing. So let's switch over to the other camera and we're going to talk about our mud supplies. And let me come out a little bit. Oh, that's coming in. I don't want to come in there. Bear with me here, girls. Okay, that's better. And we're going to talk about our mud kit. And of course, as you can see, this is messy because I'm mudding all the time. And as far as filling the bag is concerned, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Carol Craig Creations, and there is a video on there that shows you how to fill the mud bag. So I'm not going to take time to go over that tonight, but you can watch that video there. And of course, we want to have water in our sponge so that our mud bags will stay, the mud will stay viable in it. We're going to need our miracle brush, the mud medium, which is what moves our mud. We want to have some practice paper, a glass of water, and a plain piece of paper toweling. And I'm not going to do a really long tutorial this evening about how to do the 3 basic mud techniques, but I will show them to you. So, oh, thank you, Belinda Bass, pinecraftsinc.com. Thank you for that. Okay, so I've got out a piece of paper here. And there are 3 techniques of the mudding technique that Margot has created. And the first one are doing lines. Now, a line is very important. People dismiss the importance of doing lines, but actually it's the size of the line that is going to determine how big or how small your mud element is going to be. If you are going to do a small element, then your line is going to be very thin, and I'll show you this here. If it's going to be bigger, we're going to squeeze out a thicker line for a petal or leaf, and you can see how that is much, much bigger and would actually make a bigger petal because we're always pulling to the growth point. So you can see that if we pulled those down, hi Kathy and Kathy, pulled those down, we would be actually making a petal. So lines are very important. The way we hold our bag is important because we always want to touch the tip to the surface, keep the tip at a 45-degree angle so that the mud flows out easily. So lines is the very first technique. Second technique, hi Karen, is something called dribble, catch, and pull. Now I feel like this is something that a 3-year-old does. But what's going to happen is we're going to put out a line. We're going to put some medium here in the lid of our container. And I'll try to get this all on here. You can see it here in the corner. And then I'm going to take my brush, put it in the medium, and I'm going to come and catch. Catch and pull. I'm catching just a hold of the mud in order to create the look of a waterfall. And what I mean by that, I've got highlight, medium value, and then I'm fading off to the shaded area here, which is always our background color. So that's dribble, catch, and pull. And you can see that if we dribble out the top for a petal, and then we come in and start in the center and pull that, that's going to give us our color. It's going to give us highlight, medium value, and then of course the shade. So that is the second method of technique of mud. Lines is first, dribble, catch, and pull. And the third one, which everyone loves, and let me come in a little closer here, is something called, which is particularly everyone's favorite, is something called 3-dot clusters. And I'm just trying to bring you in a little closer. There we go. And what we do for a 3-dot cluster is just what it sounds like. We squeeze out 3 dots, and then we're going to take and shape our brush into a chisel edge, because before with the petal we were pulling down, and now we're going to use the chisel side. So see, this is flat and this is chisel. Oh, and how would I know? Well, yes, Barb Corfitson just came on from Howdy, Texas. No, she's our Howdy person. And so we come in with that chisel edge and catch and pull down, catch and pull down, and catch and pull down, just like that. And I always like to warm up before I do any project, because if it's been a day or two since I have actually done a 3-dot cluster or any of these techniques, it just feels good to get them back. See, that was my first one, and there was my second one. My second one was better than the first. And so those 3 techniques are what we use for the mud technique to create designs. And regardless of what you do, we are not going to do anything else but those 3 to do literally hundreds of designs. And that's why mudding is so simple, so relaxing, and so much fun. Because once you master those 3 things, then you're going to be able to do any design that you see anywhere. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments. So I think that has kind of explained to you what mudding is and what it contains and what you have to do in order to work with it. And so now I'm going to bring in the egg. Now I'm trying something different, and this might backfire on me, but I don't know if any of you have ever seen any of these. They're craft lathes. They've been around forever. I bought mine about 10 years ago, and as you can see, I have the egg held in here. And this one I bought from Patricia Rawlinson, like I said, oh my gosh, 10 years ago. And she is at Creative Arts Lifestyle. And this one is, I believe, $25.99. I think when I bought mine, it was $15.99, but that was 10 years ago. But anyway, I thought I'd give this a try. And you see, this also has a place for you to rest your hand so that while you're doing your eggs or ornaments, either one, you can rest your hand up here. How great is that? Who knew? And also, this helps you, as you turn it, it helps you keep any band or any stripe that you need to put on anything. It helps you keep it straight. So to prepare and paint this egg, I first painted the egg just a regular color, and then I took a piece of 3/8 inch masking tape, and I masked off where I wanted to paint this. Now you're going to ask, why did I go ahead and put this on here? Because then I didn't have to measure. Hello? Okay. So after I got this tape on, then I took some blue tape and I put it on the outside of this band. And then after I had the blue tape on each side, then I pulled off the center tape and I had tape on each side which masked off the band that I wanted to use. Hi, Pat Houston. And so I know, did that make sense how I explained that to you? But what I did was I measured this first, then put my blue tape out here, and then pulled that off, which gave me, I was just able to turn my egg with my brush and paint it, and I didn't have to worry about getting anything on my regular egg. Oh good, Billy. Hi Billy, you've got one of those and you use it on wine glasses. That's wonderful. Yeah, we can do that, but I thought I'd try this on this egg tonight. You guys are my guinea pigs for this, so if it doesn't work out, we can always go back to the old-fashioned way. But the first thing we're going to do before we mud is we're going to put on our little flowers. And all you gals can do basic little petals and leaves. I'm going to show you a little bit how that we can do those. I think I can come right down in here. Let me grab some scrap paper here. And I'm using a number 4 filbert. I don't even know where I got this, but it's a number 4 filbert. And what I used for the flowers was Royal Fuchsia from Deco Art. You could use magenta from Folk Art if you wanted. And you really don't need to put out much at all. I mean, just a tiny bit. And you simply come in, load your brush on both sides. I guess I can show you right here on this plate. And all we're going to do our petals, you want to be holding it back here at the ferrule and the handle. Don't get up here and get a death grip on the ferrule, but come back to about here and then press down and then turn your brush so that it comes to a point. And you're going to be making a 5-petal flower. So it's just a matter of turning. I like to make an upside down Y, just like we do for our mud flowers. And see, all I'm doing is just press, pull, and turn. And there's a little 5-petal flower. So that's what we're going to do on there. And also, we're going to do a little bud type, which is simply coming up and over, just like that. And we'll let it dry. We're going to let that dry. And then we'll come in with a little bit of our white pearl that we use to paint our band around the egg. But now remember, you can use any colors that you want. And we'll simply come in here and bring this little slice up just like this. And then come back and pick up our pink, be on the chisel, pull in, and then pull in again. And you've got, oops, I'm almost off the camera, there we go, a little rosebud. And so those two little things are what we are going to be putting on the egg. And then we're also going to be putting on a leaf. And a leaf is exactly the same as a petal. I'm rinsing off my brush. I'm just coming in here to pick up my little bit of green. And for my leaf, I go the opposite way. I push down and just slide to the chisel on each side. And then we're going to tap, and we do the calyx on this. We're just simply going to push down and just push out, just to create some little leaves here at the base. And then we're going to come in and dot in little yellow flowers there. So that's as hard as that gets. So let's go ahead and try that. And you gals are here for the unveiling, because for me to use this lathe for the first time, so we might use it, we might not. So let me get it here in position. Get my paint here. And let me do something here. No, I won't, because then I might mess it up. Okay, so I'm filling my brush, and then I'm going to come in and little petals. And you want to pick up paint for each petal. And on this metallic paint, you can see that some of the petals are a little bit transparent, but I kind of like that because then it gives it a more airy look. So there's our first little flower. Now we're going to turn that to the back, and let me see, make sure, and I'm going to come right across the other side, and I'm actually going to put 4 of these on the egg. I'm going to put 4 of the 5-petal flowers and 4 of the buds. This is my little stand moving here. Let's see if I can get it in there so it won't make that noise. There we go. This is working pretty well. Okay, and then we'll come here and put one. Those are right across from one another. So now I'll put one in here. That's pretty cool because you don't have to worry about it drying. And you're not going to get your hand in it either, she said. I'm noted for that. You gals know that. so then we're going to turn this around to here and put our fourth one on. Notice how we did this just like when we mud our 5-petal flowers. Okay, so now we've got our 4 flowers on there really quickly, and we don't have to worry about touching this and getting our fingers in it. So now I'm going to come in and paint in the back petal of the bud, which is just kind of an up and over. Turn, up and over. I wonder how many of you will be cranking out your lathes now, your craft lathes. Yes, it is very handy, Janet, because most of us know how many of us have gotten our hands in everything. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry for just a second. And now while that's drying, I'm going to come in and put my leaves in on my 5-petal flowers. So get around here to my green, and again, I didn't even wash my brush, I just wiped it off. So we're going to come in here and put a leaf, and another leaf, another leaf, oops, another leaf. This is so different because I'm used to having all of you guys yakking in the background, and I love it. And just sitting here watching me do this, it's not as much fun. Laura's got hers out too. And Barb says she has problems with spacing on the elements, so this might be the answer to the problem, because you could actually, take a chalk pencil and go ahead before you put it on the lathe and mark, with a white chalk pencil where you wanted your flowers, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. Okay. So I think my little buds are ready now, and I'll try to keep this out of the way. I'm picking up a little bit of white and a little bit of pink together, just so that I'll have a little bit of a variation here. And when it dries, this metallic shows up a little better. You can see that there. And now I'm just going to pick up some of my plain pink and just bring a little side on each one of those. And let's come in here now with a little pink and white. Do a little U shape there. You can see how it looks like a U. And then on the chisel edge of the filbert, just pull in a little stem. Okay, let's pick up a little more of our white, pink. And then we'll put the ears on it here. So we've got one more to do. You could put any kind of flowers on these that you wanted. If you wanted to put a daisy or anything, so we're just coming in here. Okay, so see, now all of our painting is done with the exception of our little green calyx at the bottom of the buds. So those don't take very long at all, and we start on the chisel right here. Pull out and pull out. And you might want to go over this the second time if you don't want the leaves to be transparent. I kind of like them a little transparent though. I think it kind of ties in with the rest of the egg. Can you imagine if I were trying to hold this egg and paint all this? I'd be flip-flopping around on here. So now this is done. All these are done. And so I'm going to rinse my brush, and I know that the centers of my flowers are already dry. So I'm going to get out a little bit of yellow. This is cad yellow, and I used plantation pine for the green. But I know so many of you have this little tool, which is a dip dotter. And so I'm going to take the teeny tiniest place here, and I'm just going to dip in my yellow and then come in here and just dip and dot the center, just like that. I know that's a little hard to see because of the glare, but trust me, I'm putting little yellow dots in there. And you can also put them in the center of the bud if you want to also, just like that. I put 3 in there. I think you can see that. But you can see how those little petals, the little yellow dots in there, they just add a little bit of pizzazz to the little flower. And just that quickly, what was that, 10 minutes or so, we have all of our painting done. And so for those of you who are wanting to make a bunch of eggs for your family or for craft fairs or for gifts, this goes really, really fast. So we're finished with our painting now. Where did the dip dotter come from? Okay, I got this when I was in Las Vegas. It comes actually, I think I've got a package over here to show you what they look like. They're $4.99, and they come in a pack of 2 like this. So you have 8 different dip dots. And I got these from Brushes and More. They're $5.99, and I wouldn't imagine shipping would be very much, but they sure are nice. The one thing you want to make sure you do is clean the tips well after you finish using them so that the paint doesn't build up. Okay, so our painting's done. Yay! Okay, so now we're going to start our mudding. And because we've spaced our flowers already, we don't have to worry about where we are going to put the petals on the egg, because voila, the larger petals are above, right above the larger 5-petal flower. And so then you put the larger petal around on that, then you come back and put a smaller petal where the bud is. So you already have your marking for that. And let's see, can you use the lathe for round objects like Christmas balls? Absolutely. In fact, I did this using this lathe. I did this yesterday. And this is paint on here. I used a paint applicator. And I also have done an ornament with mud the same way. So these two were done exactly the same, only one is with mud and one is with metallic paint. And I just put that right in the lathe and was able to go all the way around it without getting my hands in it. Okay, let me get this set up here now. Okay, so if I want to set my place for my petal, I can use my chalk pencil. And I want to, if you want to mark this, you can. That would be for a big one. This would be for a small one. You can see I would make that a little smaller. And then large and small. And then another large one and small. And then another large one, and then small. So now I'm totally ready to mud, and look how easy it is just turning this around. It's insane. Think, I've been mudding for almost 10 years and I've never used this. Who knew? Okay, so I'm gonna come in and squeeze out for my larger petal. This top is a little bit loose on here. And then I'm just going to catch and pull this down to where the band is, but I'm not going to do it to a point. I want to leave that a little larger. And I think I'll do all of the large ones at once first, and then catch and pull in. You're not coming across the top of the line of mud, you're coming just in the front of it in order to catch and pull that down. How cool is this? Oh my gosh. Is that ornament as large as you can get? No, you can actually go up to a 4-inch ornament with this. And the lathe also has an attachment that will hold a wine glass or hold a glass. I got all of the accessories, of course. So just that quick, there are all 4 of my large petals. So I don't even have to wait for them to dry. I don't have to worry about getting my fingers in them. And now I'm just going to do the smaller one. And when you would be doing these, after you could even turn it around, and you see we do ones going the other way, facing down. And I'm not going to do those in the demo today because you would just do those exactly the same way. I know it's late back east. In fact, I almost scheduled this first Facebook Live for like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I thought, oh man, if I really mess up, then I won't have to worry about. Kathy, you can get the lathe on Amazon. I looked today, they're $31.99. And of course, if you have Prime, that would be free shipping. But I get mine from this website, creativeartslifestyle.com. That is Patricia Rawlinson. So you would be able to get, and her lathe is $25.99. And there are a few accessories that come with it. I'll show you after I finish this up if you want to see it. So now, and thank you for those questions. Okay, I think you've had time to write that down. Okay, so you would just come and do below just like the top. And while these are drying, I can come in now and simply put my dots around the band that I have there. So I'm just gonna start coming, and oh, this is unbelievable because I'm just turning this as I go and just squeezing out. And you can see the dots are going around. Oops, I missed one there. Well, we'll just have to fix that. Okay, little guy snuck in on me there. And I'm going to do this to both of the bands. I didn't want to leave it just straight without any kind of accent on there, but you can see how pretty that looks and how nicely it shows up. So I will. Boy, I'm really testing myself tonight, I'll tell you. Using this new lathe for this and doing a first Facebook Live, I'm really living on the edge. To try to get both things working correctly, and except for the little glitch of not turning the mic on, and I knew that I was going to do that, so I did. Oh goodness, I hope you gals have got your pajamas on and something to drink and just enjoying yourself. You never know what's going to happen when you come on live with me. Okay, so look how quickly we went around that, and I can tell that my petals are not quite dry enough yet. So while they're drying, I'm going to let you watch me do another row of dots, and I know that you want to see this. If you need to get up and run to the bathroom, now would be the time. But you can see how easy this goes. Oh my gosh. And you can see I'm still keeping my bag at a 45-degree angle and being consistent with my pressure. And when you're doing rows of dots like this, you don't want to hesitate, because I guarantee when you're putting out dots like this, if you hesitate for even maybe 8 to 10 seconds, your mud will start to dry up. And I speak from experience. I hope you're enjoying this, and for you gals who are out there, I just really appreciate you. Fearless leader, tornado chaser, and Carol will be mudding in warp speed now. Oh my gosh, well, I'm not so sure about that, but maybe this will help us keep our hands out of the mud. Might have to go back to having an ornament of the month again now that we've got our lathe. But look how fast that did that and how simple it was. So, okay, now we've got our dots on, and in all practical purposes, if I weren't doing this demo for you here, I would let all this dry for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever. But I'm going to go on ahead and do a few of the 3-dot clusters on here so that you can see how we're going to do this. And I'm just going to come in here, squeeze and squeeze. Make a chisel. Kathy, you're not allowed to use a liner brush. You have to use your mud brush. And then, and she knows who she is. Don't count on it. Some of us will get mud up to our elbows. Coming from you, Belinda, that might be true. I'm not going to say it isn't. Oh, you guys crack me up. Okay, so it's just as simple to go around and we don't have to worry about getting our hands in these dots. Oh my gosh, we've been doing this for so many years and we worried so much when we were doing ornaments and things like that we have this in here. So, and you would actually do the very same thing on the bottom of the egg, where you would put the petals down below. I would probably let all this dry before I turned it over and did everything at the bottom. And at the end of the video this evening, the end of our session, I will give you around the egg view of everything so that you can see what I mean. So this goes really quickly. You could, if you didn't have the lathe, you could actually be doing 2 or 3 of these at a time. I'm sorry, this thing keeps clicking. I'm using it the way it's not supposed to be used. So, but what's new? Okay, so see, just that quick, my 3-dot clusters are on my egg and I don't have to worry about getting my fingers in them. So after you would do that on the top of the egg and on the bottom, you can see here how I've done the very same thing on the bottom. I just turned this around and did the very same thing around the bottom. So the only other thing left to do then, after you finish the bottom part here, is simply to put dots on here. And I think that except for the very top of the egg, you could do those very easily in the lathe. And then after these were dry, you would be able to take it out and then just do the 4 or 5 dots that you would need to do on the top of the egg. I'm sorry, my hand's in the way, but I think you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just putting in more dots. Just like that. And I won't put the ones in at the bottom because I would want to go in between my petals here. But this is just a really simple little design that goes on so quickly. So you can see how easy that was to do that. So that is all it takes to do this design. And you can see down here at the bottom where I put the petals in, then I just came in and put the dots around the same, and this has a flat bottom. These eggs are from Pinecraft, and I think they were $3.50 each. Okay, Carol, Monday evenings are Bible study time for me, so I have to leave. Great job. Thank you so much. Need to find out what you use for the silver stripe. It's in the e-packet, and the e-packet is a special price for this. It's $10, and you can get that on my website. Okay, how do you clean off? Thanks, Billy, for coming, and I hope to see you again soon. Okay, and Barbara, how do you clean off a mud mistake? Just like we do any other time. If I needed to come in and take off that dot, I just clean it off with either my brush or the mud brush or another brush. So you just take that off. So it's the same whether you've got it here or whether you're holding on to it. So I would let this dry now in the lathe itself, and I could come in if I was going to, and I could simply turn this around just like this, and see, once this was dry over here, I could come back in here and do the same thing on the bottom of my egg without holding it any. Thank you, Karen, for coming, and Kat, thank you. So other than that, this is finished. And so let me put this here, and I'll show you one more time around the egg what we did. And very, very easy to do, and a fun, easy design if you're just a beginner. So I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, I really was taking a chance tonight using that lathe, and also doing a Facebook Live for the first time. Whew. But anyway, thank you all so much for joining me. If you have any questions, let's see, you can always email me at craigdaisy@aol.com. And of course, anything that you need to know about what's coming up, you can go to my website, carolcraigcreations.com. So I hope you had a fabulous time with this and enjoyed this. And I hope I'll see you again on another Facebook Live very, very soon. So take care, everyone, and bye for now.